Thank you. And my colleague, Mr. Ubaidli, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon now. It was supposed to be morning. We moved into the afternoon. My name is Dan. I was born in Malaysia and now have homes in Silicon Valley, Malaysia, obviously, as well as in Australia where my kids live. I come to you from the World Innovation, Technology and Services Alliance, or simply WITSA. This is the Association of Tech Associations. We are an organization formed 44 years ago. Oh, this is where I used to click. Okay. 44 years ago, and we have today 80 members, just 80. But one member represents one country. So for example, here in Jordan, our member is in touch. And Mr. Ubaidli is with Bahrain, and our member in Bahrain is BTAC, and so on and so forth. Our member in the United States is the CTA, the Consumer Technology Association, and annually they organize the CES, which is one of the largest tech events in the world. So, and our members represent over 90% of the global technology trade in the world. Yep. Our mission is to fulfill the promise of the digital age, and that is a tremendous opportunity. And I come to you to tell you that today, digitally transformed businesses account for, by next year, it's expected to account for 53 trillion US dollars, or more than 50% of gross GDP, global GDP. That is an enormous industry or component of our global GDP, and yet the part that controls that means our industry itself, as Ubaidli said, at 4.4 trillion US dollars, actually is only 15% of the global GDP, and yet we empower more than 50% of global GDP. We have a signature event. It's called the World Congress on Innovation and Technology, and it's been held, let's see, since 1978. First held in Barcelona, and it goes around to different countries. And these are the stunning locations that we've had our WCIT, and it has been premised on basically helping the premise of leaning on tech for societal good. And now I come to you with this new and exciting event that we're working on that hopefully in the next year or two will come to bear. And that is that focus, remember, on that core aspect of the leverage. The industry that we're in, the tech industry, 15% of global GDP, empowering more than 50% of that total global GDP. And what is that? That is the heart of our industry, which is technology. And that is that industry that is so exciting that every country wants to be a part of. And we can understand that because it is the premise upon which so much of the future is based. And so, it is the WITSA World Cup. I am talking about an event that brings together. So imagine if every participating WITSA member, 80 countries, the top two of the scale-ups in each country, Series A and above, come together and compete in a tournament-style pitching event. Yeah? And then that judges are made up of international organizations that come on a panel, as well as the audience and global viewers that vote and then decide who should win. How does that then bring value? On the left, consider the tech scale-ups. What do they want? They want global expansion. They want land grabbing, and they are interested in getting the best talent they can from anywhere in the world. Having the buzz, giving them that global attention actually brings about that opportunity for them. And VCs, if VCs are a part of this, they have deal flow. They have access to be able to get to the top global scale-ups, pre-unicorn. Tech associations like us, and whether it is on a global level, regional level, like the Arab ICT Union, or the national level, can then attract new tech members, because we're seeing that sometimes some of these associations have issues or have trouble getting more resonance with the new tech members because they seem to represent old technology companies, old tech. So, but scale-ups, startups, and then moving on are the ones that want to see the excitement coming out of being able to attract a new capital as well as new opportunity. On that left side of that, if you look at the other stakeholders, the government. Governments want to be able to domicile tech firms prior to them becoming unicorns and tech giants. Once they become tech giants, it's too late, because they can basically demand whatever it is that they want. And at the same time, they want to globalize the national champions, meaning how do they bring the best of what they have, measure up, and take that against the best of the world, and then see if these national champions can go global, can access markets not just here, but also maybe in Latin America. We have members in Brazil. Our deputy chairman is from Brazil. Or in Europe, we have members from Spain to the UK, to the Ukraine, even Russia as well. Or to the east, where GISA, our member, has, or Taiwan, CISA, Singapore, Australia, obviously Malaysia as well, Thailand. So these are potential markets for the top tier that gain positions there. What about corporations and the users of this technology? They want to know and have access to the top innovations and disruptions that are taking place in our tech industry, because early access gives them that competitive advantage. So they will want to be a part of this as well. And finally, for WITSA, when we bring this together, we can then see how we can help individual members and their countries, meaning that we can bring on board mentors as well as experts who can help train the scale-ups that are taking part and then make them better as well. So we went in and we started looking at the basic ideas behind the jobs to be done, the pain and the gain points for each of these personas that we've built. And this is just one example of what it is that the tech entrepreneurs want and how it is that we can help them. And a very quick idea of what the sweet spot is for us, it is in examining the typical tech firm and the life cycle that they go through from birth, through bootstrapping, angel seeking, VC seeking, to niche scaling once they cross the chasm and they start going into a niche area, or blitz scaling, all the way to the unicorn status, or maybe then becoming an IPO star, or market leader, finally a tech giant. And then after that, once they get into a mode where perhaps growth is a little harder to come by, they start paying out dividends. And finally, I call it a hodler. It's kind of like the crypto thing of holding on for dear life, because they're just so worried about being disrupted. And unfortunately, some of them become dinosaurs. As you can tell, the industry itself has seen its share of dinosaurs, whether it be Sun Microsystems or Silicon Graphics, etc. At any point in time, they can still fall off and die. Yeah? So what is our sweet spot? We're looking at that point that is circled pre-unicorn after crossing the chasm. So Series A, thereabouts. Again, so can you imagine at that group level, the countries come together, the top scale-ups two from each country coming together, being put together into perhaps 4 groupings, and then competing via pitching style, and the winner of these become the semi-finalists. So the 2 on one side, 2 on the other, the winner of each semi-finals come together in the finals, and the winner gets the World Cup. And to the winner goes, obviously, the World Cup, $1 million. in VC funding, in incentives, in localization costs, office space, etc. Recognition at our events and invitation to be a keynote speaker at our signature event as well. Where are we now? We're at a level where we have engaged our board and our membership. We are forming a committee to look at the requirements, and we'll soon reach out to 6 sponsors. And obviously our members, and we will encourage them to form their own competition to recognize and get their own national champions so that they can then be put together in a year, or hopefully within a year or 2, we will have that first WITSA World Cup that will take place, and will be and hope to see the winners. With that, thank you so much for your attention, and if you want to discuss this with me, I'll be around until tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khoo.